Thank you for listening to the Black Delegates Podcast. Rate, review, share.
Yo, Herb, take it from the top. 1, 2. My mic sound nice. Check 1. My mic sound nice. Check 2. My mic sound nice. Check 3. Are you ready?
Welcome to the Black Delegates Podcast. Today's date is... What is today's date?
2/22.
February.
February
22nd.
Like Big Ross the Boss said, she's in room 222. It's on 22s. Come on, man, sing it for us.
Okay. All right.
Oh,
Episode 146.
Trash, man. Come on now. How do I know this? You don't.
Yeah. I need to remember because baby girl's birthday is tomorrow. So happy early birthday to Avery. But I am your host, the Black Ryan. The Black Ryan. I gotta find myself a good drop. I don't have a good drop for my name. I'm gonna have to find somebody that said Black and Ryan, mix it together. But I'm here with my co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, Ghetto Phenom. What's good?
What's good?
That was a little too short, man. I need to hear that. I need more than one beat there.
Nah, you just get a never. That's it.
Right, never.
Just never.
That's all you get.
Okay.
You gotta pay for the next one.
What you got for me?
Next bar.
I got something for you.
Drop it off on me.
My other co-host is
Nasty man.
how you like that? The nasty man himself, Box Wide Poppy.
And what about you? What's your name?
Nasty man.
And what's your name?
I got two for you. Two drops.
Intro yourself, man.
Oh, I got to do mine?
Yeah.
I was thinking about this one. I'm not sure. Let's try it.
Hold on, I got something for you too.
What you got?
This is a story that will go down in the love and hip-hop history books. But what is the truth? What is a lie?
Why would that be my drop?
This is weird.
That is a weird drop.
Because you go between lies and truth, man. We don't really know.
Man,
You're just
stop
on
it.
to conspiracies, man. You're a conspiracy brother.
So you just want the conspiracy drop for me? Mm-hmm. All right. I was going to try this one.
I am that nerd. I am that nerd. I am that nerd.
That's pretty.
Like
that's pretty
that?
accurate.
Like
That's
that?
pretty.
I am that nerd. So,
Y'all niggas worship him.
that's two. I like that one. That's one of my faves. But it's just one that's overused.
Okay.
So I can't use it myself.
All right.
But we are the Black Delegates Podcast, and we are here to serve the people. So we're gonna give y'all some of these truths today. So let's start off with some rest in peace.
Oh yeah.
Because every week, folks dying. I don't know. It's just all the black and brown people dying.
Oh man. Rest in peace.
If you've never listened to the Black Delegates Podcast, we have the most upbeat rest in peace section of any podcast ever. If you die, you happy. We happy about it, and we talk about
And we
it.
definitely gonna make fun of you.
Celebrate the life.
If you die, we're gonna make fun of you. That's for sure.
Right. So Prince Marky D of the Fat Boys.
Yeah, aka Mr. Mark Morales. Yes, man. Again, as I said it before in this podcast, the first tape I ever got, Gloria, Lisa and the Cult Jam, and the Fat Boys, and I wore the hell out of that Fat Boys tape in my little boombox my mom got me, and that was like the first band. And I'm pretty sure because of this dude, Prince Marky D, because he was a Hispanic dude in there. He was the fat boy, but he was like the skinny fat boy. In all the movies, he was the one that got the girl. The other two fat dudes, they weren't getting nobody. So there was probably a little colorism in this because the light skinned dude, he wasn't really that fat, but he was also good looking. So he would always get the chick in the movie, like Disorderlies. But yeah, man. So this dude had an outsized influence on my life, especially. But today, I went back, reminisced. I went to listen about an hour worth of Fat Boys hits. I gotta say, man, I was on some back in the day. I was on some straight bullshit.
Doesn't hold up, huh?
Man, it did not hold. I mean, look, every beat is like a boom, just a crazy boom bap, and just way too much beatbox. I mean, like obviously, like they just killed the whole beatbox, thing. I mean, other than Dougie Fresh, I guess it's the only group you can think of that beatbox. And then they had a bunch of like features. They had a Beach Boy song feature. They had a Chubby Checker feature. They had like a James. I mean, they just took all these like regurgitated songs that were hits and just put some little rap and some beatboxing on it. And I guess that made a hit. I mean, they were legends at that time, though. I can't front.
They got a movie deal, so it worked.
They got multiple movie deals. They got multiple movies, man. So they had a little industry going, but the stuff does not hold up well, man. It was a rough listen. I was trying to like filter through like which of these songs did I really like, and I was like, man, I remember this one. I was like, man, they all garbage now, but shout out to my man. Peace to him.
What you think, Phenom? You got any memories of the Fat Boys?
I think we talked about it before, like seeing them on TV and seeing them in movies. That was my biggest memory. And they had some cuts. I mean, back then, you got to understand that the styles are like so much different now.
Right.
Hip hop as an art has just matured well beyond what it was. It was still pretty much in its infancy then. So everything was, I went to the party, bought some chicken. Whatever.
Yeah, that's racist.
They would say
fat
that.
Boy and his finger licking.
Hey man, those songs were all. I mean, it's kind of shameful now, but like, it was just all about like all the songs like Jelly Roll or like I'm hungry or something like that. I mean, it was a gimmick. It was a gimmick thing, but man, they commercialized hip hop in some way. I mean, they were like, you had like Crush Groove and you had like Break In, some of that stuff, but like. Them Disorderly movies, man, they crossed over for real. So shouts to those dudes, man.
I went to the movie theater to see that movie,
and it was funny too, wasn't it? It was funny.
Enjoyed it.
It had the dude from.
I haven't seen that movie anywhere, so I'm gonna have to see if it's streaming. But and check it out now, see if it holds up at all.
You're gonna be disappointed, just like me listening to an hour of their greatest hits. It was rough.
Yeah, there's a reason why I generally never go back and watch movies twice. So it's gotta be really good.
But any of them still alive? Because didn't one passed away?
Yeah, the one dude, not the beatboxer, the other one, which he actually lost a lot of weight. At least it's been a long time, but I remember like there was a story, maybe in like Source magazine, where he had lost a lot of weight. So he was like actually kind of muscular and stuff like that. So yeah, I guess he's still alive. I guess. But yeah, man, had like a 10-year-old Paul, wanting to bulk up, just eat Twinkies for like 3 years and just be 300 pounds and get and wear a coonskin cap and pull hose, man. I thought that's what I was gonna be doing. It didn't work out that way. Respect to the ladies though.
That's dang crazy. Metabolism.
I know, man. I got that Brandon Ingram gene going on, man. Right. It's tough.
All right, and then the other one, Box Wine put this on here, y'all, so don't blame me. He wanted to rest in peace. His man, his idol. He used to. I'm sure he used to always call me and say, "Yo, was you listening to Rush today?" Before a podcast, he was listening to Rush Limbaugh, and he wanted us to make sure we rest in peace to God.
This is not facts. Look, I went to Ryan. I said, man, I don't think we should do this. Ryan said, look, he's from Missouri. He's from the Mizzou. I gotta shout him out. Phenom was like co-signed it. He was like, look, this dude's from Mizzou, born and raised. He got his racist views from my state. So we gotta play it. We gotta give him rest in peace. And so Phenom, do you want to eulogize the legend?
He was a man. He said words. Mm-hmm. He talked on the radio. The end.
He popped some pills. He popped some pills in his day. Man.
And I know that's been in the news quite a bit with people saying, basically, F this dude, immediately when he died, which is not cool. I'm okay with you admitting that you didn't like somebody. But I'm not going to talk bad about somebody like that after they die. Because, life is precious, even his.
I agree, life is precious, but hey, I don't feel that same sense of responsibility. So I'm going to get these jokes off and I'll make fun of him all I want. And so man, F you. And it was kind of interesting, though. The governor of Florida ordered everything be, the flags be at, half mast or whatever like that for a day or two or whatever like that. But then I guess the ag commissioner was saying she's not going to abide by that because the dude was just divisive, which he was, man. He was just, yeah, but I mean, just he's a, state resident. I guess he kind of, brung brung some attention to the state or whatever like that. And plus, he was just buddies with the governor, so the governor's wanting that, but other people were like, nah, they should not. That's a little trickier, man. I don't think nobody should be flying no flags at half mast with that dude. I do remember a dude I used to work with though when I first got my first job. Like old dude, he used to play that Rush Limbaugh all day long in his like cubby hole, and I would like catch like a minute or two of it, and I wasn't really listening too deep. But yeah, in hindsight, man, it was some weird stuff that dude was talking about, man. So I never really like got too deep into it, but yeah, man, F that dude, man. Dude was on some bull. Don't edit it out either.
That's three cusses.
Don't edit it out. None of them out. Keep it in there.
He jotting them down too.
Right. I was just writing it down. Like, man,
we're gonna set a record tonight.
Tripping, man. All right. That's all the rest in peace. So rest in peace, Prince Marky D. All right. Black History shout outs. This is y'all favorite part of the show. We got to find a way to continue this after Black History Month. Just going to have to do random shout outs and continue
the Black Delegates. Hey, yeah. Do it.
I'm just fine. I don't know if we can do 3. We're doing 3 a week. I guess it may not be too hard. We have to dig deep. But it seems like from the people that I know listen to the show, they seem to have been enjoying it. I do get messages about it. People enjoyed the wrestling one. So that was cool. So, who's going to start? We're going to talk with Box Wine. Box Wine, your random Black History shout out. Who you got for us?
All right, so you essed on me the first week I did this. I tried to come with some jokes last week. You didn't like those either. I'm just gonna get serious and I'm gonna hit you with an author, famous author, at least a book I've read, Nathan McCall, author of Makes Me Want to Holler. It's like one of the few like growing up black books. I remember I got it like a long time ago. Just picked it up. A friend of mine had it or something like that. And I read it. And it was just a really good book, man. Like if you ever, I don't know if y'all ever read that book, but that's a dope author. I guess he's like, I guess he's still alive, but he's some kind of like professor now, or something like that. But just growing up and talking about his story. I mean, that was a book, I read, really made me understand certain things I never, growing up, as a little kid, just never thought about it. Even though circumstances weren't great for us either, but yeah, man, seeing how other people have it and things like that, I thought that was. And I still got it, actually. It's over there on the bookshelf. I go pick it up right now. But yeah, it makes me want to holler. Nathan McCall, dope book. If y'all haven't read it, pick it out. Say something negative about that, Ryan.
I know you read that because of a female.
Man,
you said a friend. You had a friend had it. So a dude had that book and you was like, bro, I gotta read that.
Listen to me. I was like 14, 15.
You want us to believe that?
My homeboy Genesis got it, and look, I wasn't getting this might come as a surprise. I wasn't getting no.
Oh, it's not surprising.
It's not surprising at all. 14, 15, man.
I knew you when we were 18 and 19. It's not surprising.
Oh no, by then I was starting to get smooth with it. But 14, 15 when I read the book,
no, magic nothing. Do
it. Not gonna be here.
I wasn't there. Funny.
We can't all be Phenom. We can't be the coochie whisperer like Phenom over there. We can't be the 14-year-old coochie whisperer. Don't edit that out either.
Pardon?
Don't edit that out.
Excuse me. Phenom, you next on my screen. So what you got? Black History facts or shout-outs?
I got nothing. I got
nothing.
Shout yourself, man.
No, I'm a shout out this dude. I had to Google because I couldn't think of his name.
Okay.
And Ryan, you should know this guy well. You actually get on your knees and praise him every night.
Jesus?
Holy God.
I'm finna say it better be Jesus, my nigga, because other than that, we about to fight. Like, what you talking about?
I'm a shout out Holy God. I don't know if y'all seen this dude Holy God before. It's Holy GXD. But it's a dude, it's a black dude. It's funny because he raps, but he also he's like a social media celebrity. And his claim to fame, I think he doesn't have any teeth or something is jacked up with his teeth, so he could pull his lip over his nose.
Oh, I've seen that dude.
And that dude got like hella millions of followers, and he literally does that same thing every video. He just
that's weird.
Pulls his lip over his nose. He be like, I don't need a mask. You got your mask? I don't need a mask. And he flips his lip over his nose, and people just laugh. So the fact that this dude, I thought he was something brand new I knew he's been out for a minute, but yeah, he kind of popped off maybe 2017, and he's still got a following, and he's like a one-trick wonder. So shout out to Holy God and all the black one-trick or one-hit wonders.
That felt like the most racist that most racist thing we've ever said in this podcast. That's saying something. That was a Black History Month fact. Okay.
It was blasphemous. It was
and you said Ryan praised to that dude. You praised the dude that raises his lip over his nose. Okay.
Come on.
Ryan, you want some... Man, what are you doing on your knees, brother?
Like a fight, man.
All right, man. Come on. Hit us with Luke Cage or the Moon Knight or some other like comic book nobody's ever read.
I'm going to hit you with a good one. I'm not rocking with Moon Knight. He's lame.
Are you going to give us a real... before the end of the month, are you going to give us a real human being, actual human being that lived, not that
I've given
character?
us nothing but real human beings. Come on. There's been no fictional anybody on my picks. But here we go. Are you ready?
Come on, dog.
So this one is Kevin Peter Hall. Do you know who this is? Don't Google it. Kevin Peter Hall.
Don't worry.
Kevin Peter Hall was the man in the Predator suit. He was Predator. Literally, like a 7 foot.
I thought it was Jean-Claude Van Damme.
That's part of my story, which makes it even more interesting. Initially, it was supposed to be Jean-Claude Van Damme. This dude was fresh. In the story, they said he was fresh off the boat. I don't know if that's really racist. If you really do get right off a boat, you kind of fresh off it. I don't really see how that's racist, but I get it. But Van Damme was supposed to be in it because he was out in the hallways at the movie studio doing high kicks, doing split kicks. And they was like, oh, man, this dude right here is cool. Like, we should get him in something. And they was like, we got a movie for you. It's called The Predator. And so Jean-Claude shows up on deck, and they got him in this stupid mocap suit, motion capture. He's got like all red on. It's like, and it was even a different suit. And I'm going to show y'all that too. It was a totally different suit from the one that we know of now. It was so lame. They said they was in the middle of the jungle, 100 and something degrees out there, hot as heck. They said your boy just was complaining like crazy. It's too hot out here. Nobody can see my face. How can I do my martial arts in this? Because they said his feet.
Hold on. If you're gonna do it, you gotta do the voice. If you're doing it, you gotta do the Van Damme voice.
That was
his do the Van Damme voice
because I can't do the voice. I'm no good at those. No, I can't do that one. If I can do the voice, I'll give it to you, but I cannot. It's not a good one for me. So you see that suit, and basically like the legs, his hind legs was supposed to be like when they do those goat boy Satans, where it's got the extra bend in there, right? And so he couldn't do anything. They said he could barely walk in this costume. So Van Damme on the set complaining, got into it with the people on the set, and long story short, fired this man. They was like, man, get up out of here. You lame. We can't have you on the set out here whining and crying. In steps your man, Kevin Peter Hall, tall as heck. And he's like, I'll do it. And they said that they went, talked to the costume designers, and they was like, yo, we need something different. What we got ain't working. It's an ugly suit. Everybody thinks it's lame. The few shots that they did and showed it to the top people, they was like, nah, we're not doing that. That looks terrible. This movie's going to be trash.
It's trash. It's definitely trash.
Yeah. And then so they brought out the real suit, which is the one that we know of today, put it on this man, and he went to work. He said that he made this character his own he was really hype about it. If y'all ever want to see his interview, I will put it in the show notes so you can check it out. So he replaced Jean-Claude Van Damme. That was a day in Black history right then and there. And this was before Bloodsport. So it would have been Van Damme and Arnold Schwarzenegger because he was hyped to fight against Arnold Schwarzenegger. That did not happen. But Kevin Peter Hall took his spot. And they said that he was the dude in the helicopter that picked up Schwarzenegger at the end of the movie. So he got his little cameo at the end. So I thought that was really cool.
Andy looks, I'm reading this, he was also Harry in the Hendersons. He was the dude Harry, or the Bigfoot dude.
Yes. That was my thunder right there, but that's okay. Steal it. Steal it.
Said he played basketball at George Washington University for a little while. Then after that, got into this. And I mean, the dude does not look intimidating at all. He looks straight trash. Like, I'm sure he was garbage on the court, but Phenom definitely would have dunked on this man right here.
I won't disrespect that man like that. He might have had game. I mean, how bad could you be?
If you 7'2" and didn't make it to the league, no, you would not have game. Sorry, no. If Sean Bradley was making it to the league and you 7'2", you had to be garbaggio.
Maybe he had bad knees.
So hold on, but so the Predator. Is that why the Predator has dreadlocks? Because they gave it to a black dude? Is that racist? I just need to know. I'm asking Phenom. What do you think? I need a rule in here.
I've never seen dude's hair, but
the Predator had dreadlocks.
He got regular hair.
Yeah, but I'm saying, the until the Predator became the black, they gave it to the black dude. They said they changed the whole suit. They changed the whole suit for the black dude, and then they gave the new suit had dreadlocks. The first suit didn't have dreadlocks. Right. That's racist, right?
That's not racist. That is inclusion. You're giving him a black hairstyle that's representative of his culture. I like it. I'm for it.
See, that's the kind of insight I'm looking for. There you go. See, we're playing along now.
It's not racist at all when it works. So that's a fact. So if you see him, I just put another picture of him with the suit off. He was cool about it too, because they said not one day did this man complain that it was too hot and he had to wear that suit mad times. And they said Van Damme was out there passed out talking about he needed some water, and he had been there for like an hour. So shout out to the black man. This is how we work. We come in, we get the work done, we get the job done, and we make history. So this dude went on to do Predator 2 because he was so great at it. So shout out to Kevin Peter Hall.
Now we know the real reason that Ryan picked this dude, Kevin Peter Hall, and shout out to him. It's no disrespect to him.
No, all disrespect.
Ryan picked him because he got a headband and glasses.
Hey.
Like, that's clearly the reason you rock with him. Headband and glasses.
And he has three plain white names. That's why Kevin Peter Hall. We're not going to give the whole government for the Black Ryan, but we know what it is. This name is very similar to his. So I see the allegiance here. And plus this dude's been on Star Trek. Oh man, this dude's a straight nerd.
He's been anybody tall. Anybody tall, he's been that dude.
Okay, but next week you got to come with somebody that actually did something like arts, science. You can't be nobody from the Marvel cinematic universe. I'm sorry, dude.
This dude, maybe. This is a podcast. This is entertainment. You think anybody wants to talk about Makes Me Want to Holler? Nobody's going to text me about that.
Book, man. Hey, I learned about trains from that book, man. And you should read. And I'm not talking about the trains that go choo choo. So read that book, man. Peep it. Don't make me find the chapter because I grew a whole 6 months, a whole year after reading that chapter.
He was about to say he grew 6 inches.
That too. That too. 3.5. I don't know, something.
Wow.
Nasty man.
Wow.
Nasty man.
Hey, that's
what we expect from Paul on this podcast. All right. So let's see. Let's get into this
mail-in orders. Them items in the back of the book. He was ordering them.
Oh man. I wish I had a credit card back then.
Right. All right. That's it on that.
No more.
Next, This Week in Blackness. Let's also go with Box Wine Poppy. What you got, man?
I ain't got a damn thing, man. Look, I ain't got nothing. It's been a miserable week. My wife had a birthday yesterday, so we didn't do too much because the weather was trash. Other than that, man, just been dealing with work, man. Just let me ask y'all, how close have y'all ever come to wanting to slap one of your coworkers? I just want to know, like very close, not so close, very distant. Let's just be honest. We ain't got to say it's no current coworkers, but I've definitely had a feeling over the last week, like I would just like to slap the heads upsides of my course. But I'm on. It's all on Zoom, so I can't really reach out and touch someone. And that's really it, man. So do y'all got any had any stories about wanting to slap your coworker?
Oh yeah, 100%. And these are, of course, are former coworkers, way 20 years ago.
Yeah, right. Two weeks ago.
But yeah, you always get people, annoying people that get on your nerves that you just wish you could just mollywop them, as they say in corporate America.
Anybody want to call by name?
Oh, no.
Get it off your chest, man.
Nah, we don't do that. Well, okay, fine. The Black Ryan, I mean, he's on the podcast. He's always getting on my nerves. No, I'm just kidding. What about you, Ryan?
A boss of a boss. Yes, I did think of many ways. We were sitting in a glass about 8 by, well, how big is this room? Maybe a glass 10 by 10 side office. When they marched me in there, and he sat there looking at me like this in my face with his arms crossed and told me that he was firing me. And I thought of 8 different ways I could snap his neck while we was in that room. But I was like, would I be able to post bail? Who could get me out of jail? How could this work? And I just didn't think it would work out for me in jail. And I wasn't worried about this particular fight because I wanted that smoke that day. But yeah, man, that dude, I wanted to kill him at one point.
Is this the situation where you went out there and rapped in your car and wrote the verse?
When I wrote that verse, when I wrote that song about quitting, yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Gotcha.
All related.
Context.
Yep.
Okay.
Have you ever gotten fired, Paul?
I told you, I think one of the first stories we talked about, I got fired at Wendy's. My first job, got fired at Wendy's because I was hanging out with one of the biggest drug dealers in the neighborhood's brother. He worked at, we started the same day. Shouts to Mark. And yeah, we got into it with the manager, and yeah, we got fired the same day. So had to get my mom to come pick me up. That was pretty lame though. Just having to get me fired and getting escorted out of the building and having to can I use the phone to call my mom so she can come pick me up? That was very lame.
That's extra lame.
But but I will say, we've all wished we could slap up a coworker. Now we shouldn't do that, especially when we get older. But I was in the military for a brief amount of time, and in the military, you can actually slap your coworkers, man. Sort of. You shouldn't do it, but it happens. And so, in basic training, they put me across from this dude. I remember his last name was Weems. I can't remember his first name, but his last name was Weems. Black dude, and he was just I just didn't like this dude. We just never hit it off, man. The dude's bunk was right across from me. So we seen each other. Man, I'll tell you some stories. There's some degrading stuff, man. They made us do naked jumping jacks, all naked push-ups, man, right in front of yes, man. I'm telling you.
That's a violation, man. What is this?
Yeah, you think, look, we talk about it later. But anyway, I can tell that story another day. But me and this dude just never got along. And so we were there for 8-10 weeks or like that in basic training. And finally, you get to this point where they teach you hand-to-hand combat, and you joust. You remember on American Gladiator where you put on the lacrosse helmet, and you got the stick, you know what I'm talking about, with the pads on it. You know
I figured they'd let you do that. Yeah, you got to joust.
So they let us do that, man. And that, man, I think we did that 3 days, man. That was the funnest thing ever, and it was just people just going off each other. But our drill sergeant, they knew me and that dude did not like each other, and so I was gonna go against another dude, a friend of mine, I guess named Andrew's you want to go, and I was well, we'll just go and just have fun. We're gonna try to kill each other. But they were drill sergeant's no.
I was gonna say, did you point the stick at him?
The drill sergeant, the drill sergeant. Yo, man, look, man. I was whatever. I was 17 years old. Drill sergeants were crazy, man. It was just all these dudes on steroids, and they were just mean, man. And they were just they just want to see people fight, try to kill each other. They really did, man. And so dude, just no, you ain't going against that dude Andrew. You going against this dude Weems, and let's see what happens. And I knocked his ass out. It felt good, man. It felt so good. Cause They had told us, do not stop until the drill sergeant blow the whistle. And the drill sergeant, he paired us up. He made, and we didn't go first. So it was all this anticipation. So I'm just sitting there waiting oh, no, they said, no, you going against that dude. And basically I think he was doing it because I was, as you can tell from this podcast, I talk a lot and have a big mouth. And that dude, and so I think the drill sergeant thought he was going to whoop because that dude he was a short dude, but he was muscular. So I was skinnier than I am now and had no muscles. And so I think that the drill sergeant thought he was going to whoop my ass. And so we got down there, and that dude slipped, and he fell, and the drill sergeant blew a whistle. So I just started hitting his ass in the face as hard as I could with that damn, 4 or 5 times. And and the dude just let go of his javelin and just grabbed me, and we just started wrestling, and everybody piled on top of us. It was 60 dudes trying to get on there because a lot of dudes didn't like him, and some dudes didn't like me. And man, it was just a rumble. And so I remember dudes that, because it's in the army, it's 500 dudes out there, at a time, and so you don't know. They all look alike because y'all bald headed, wearing the same clothes, so you don't know who's who. And I remember talking to dudes weeks later, it's yeah, man, we heard all them dudes fighting. What the hell was going on with what? They're all messed up. No, that was me. I was the one getting my ass kicked. But I beat his ass that day, and that felt good, man. And after that, we were cool. After that, it's amazing, dudes, man. You fight dudes. Again, phenom. One day we got to tell the origin story with you with the shoes, but you go out there, you probably weren't friends with that dude. You probably just kicked his ass and just never spoke to him again. But I kicked that dude's ass, and we were cool. We were decent after that. I wouldn't say we were great. We don't keep up, but it felt good to get back on that. Anyway, long story short, I'll tell about the naked jumbo jacks one day.
Please.
Not fun.
I done forgot where we was at.
Yeah, we still in this in blackness. I don't really have that much though. So I got nothing. I got my my rowing machine is on the way. So that should be here Thursday. So hopefully by next episode. Because I'm balling. Yep. Ain't no balling, but definitely try to get into some type of shape because I definitely ain't going to nobody's gym no time soon. And it was interesting. So, with COVID, everything kind of been locked down. I still go up to church every other week to facilitate the live stream, but it's, really like a handful of people there. And I don't really ever come in contact with anybody unless I'm like, if somebody opens the door for me when I first get there, or somebody may come up to talk to me in the production room, but they're like outside and we're talking through glass. So rarely am I like up talking to people face to face or whatever. But this past week they had the election, the church election, and I had to go and, kind of run the AV stuff. And the homie Danny came through and we ain't been hooping, so I ain't seen Danny since March, literally. Wow. Actually, I think they came through one day and talked outside. This is maybe May or something like that. But that was the last time I seen him. And he was sitting in a car at that point in time. So, we just talking, of course, face masks, social distancing and all that. But just seeing him, and it was just like, I'm like, dude, why you look tall all of a sudden? Like, I just always felt like me and Danny was like the same height.
No.
But he's clearly
Danny is like 6'5".
Inch. He's 6'4". Yeah, so
Phenom won't give him the extra inch.
No, he won't give him an inch, man. That dude is clearly taller than you.
Phenom, did you get on your tippy toes when you stand near him?
I never felt it. Maybe it was the kicks. Because he did have on some thicker soles.
He checked his soles to see if his soles was thick.
I was like,
got some Timbs on. He got some Timbs on.
Up to this dude. I was like, what is going on? So, yeah, shout out to Danny. It was good catching up with him. But that's about it, man. Me and the wife, we watched, what did we watch? Oh, I'll talk about that later because that's in my topic. So, okay. Yeah, that's all I got. What about you, Ryan?
All right, me, uneventful, but I did want to come back and change some things or make an announcement, I guess, based on last week, because I heard it from the wife when she listened to last week's episode. She was like, you didn't tell anything that I did for Valentine's Day. And I'm like, babe, what was I supposed to say? I was like, we really wasn't talking like that. We're not getting into details. I was like, I just said I had a nice Valentine's Day. What else do you want? She's like, you didn't say anything about the heart-shaped cheesecakes with strawberries that I bought for us. That's what she said. So now y'all know the wife got us heart-shaped cheesecakes with strawberries on them for Valentine's Day, and we ate them. Look at that. Look at that. See? I told her that was going to be the response. That's why I didn't say it last week. There's not going to be a response. There's nothing to say to that.
That's more than I got. I got the good old nothing burger. But I mean, if she wants you to tell it, then you should tell everything. Now, what else was your wife eating? Was she going salad hunting?
Bro.
That's flagrant. Even I think that's flagrant.
What the heck?
Flagrant.
Did Paul just pop up in your spirit? What happened?
Look, man, this is what happens.
Nasty man.
Yeah, nasty.
Hey.
Phenom hangs around me too long and see things just start rubbing off
Nasty
on him,
man.
Hey, nothing rubs off on me, buddy. Take that back.
Wow, that's
Take
trash.
that back immediately.
All right, we just gonna move on from there. I'm not even gonna respond.
Do you want to talk about how y'all after you ate the cheesecake, you started playing H-Town 4? Did you want to talk about any of that? You want to get into that bag?
I said it was nice and it was low key. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
All right. Let's go into our movie review. Last week, Phenom mentioned that he wanted to talk about Judas and the Black Messiah, and for once, all three of us have watched a movie. What? even Boxwine Poppy, he sat down in front of a television, turned it on, and watched it.
And I have a subscription to HBO Max. I paid for the subscription.
You have a subscription, and you don't watch anything. It's sad, really. So
I watch NBA. I got the NBA package. That's all I need to do, man. That's all I got time for at night. Right. NBA package. Grizzlies is on right now. I'm mad, and they're playing the Mavs. Come on now.
Dude, I put on the NBA package and play the game. Like, you got to get the dual TV set up. It's pretty baller. All right, so Judas and the Black Messiah, Phenom. I'm gonna let you intro this.
Yeah, so that was actually what we did. My wife wanted to watch that on Valentine's Day. She was like, we don't
strong woman
need to go anywhere. She's like, I want to watch that Judas and the Black Messiah. I think I mentioned last week she wanted a chocolate cup strawberry, so got her that.
Why does it gotta be chocolate? Why can't it be, butter pecan? What's up with that?
You can't be eating no vanilla nothing while you watching Judas and the Black Messiah.
Right. But no, it was a good movie. It definitely it wasn't a Valentine's movie.
Nah.
It was a heavy movie. And I knew the story, the basics of what had happened, but just seeing the details. And really, I didn't realize that he was so young.
Yeah,
like when they talked about the end, I guess, spoiler alert, this is based on history. But when he was killed by the government, essentially, they say he was 21. And I was like, oh. Yeah. Like I'd never realized that. Like I always thought he was much older than that. But I thought it was a good movie, man. And we saw a lot of familiar faces. It seems like, they got that little clique where they kind of make a lot of the films together with the same actors. But I think it worked. And I guess it's just the, it's a talented group of guys. Because it's like some people make movies together over and over, and it seems like the same movie, even though it's a different plot. But it's like, seems like all the movies that they're in together, kind of have a depth to it. It has its own personality. So I enjoyed it, man. It was kind of sad, but I definitely enjoyed it.
Boxwine?
Man, I'm agreeing with Phenom. Definitely not a date movie, but it was interesting, man. I maybe had heard that guy's name just in passing, reading something once, but it wasn't really like a story I was very familiar with at all. So it was insightful for me. But I didn't know much of that history at all about the shootout at the thing. And I that was the problem with the movie. Not a problem with the movie, but like I found myself like just wanting to go on Google, like, man, did that really happen? Like this this and that. So like I started getting into this went down a rabbit hole, reading like the the real informants, because I guess they has that movie that he's that they the little cutbacks they're doing where he's older. And that dude, Lakeith Stanfield, he looks really like that dude. Kind of how they got the beard and kind of like his shape up and things like that. In the early 80s, just a little skinny suit and stuff like that. I was like, is that real? But it was all, for the most part, pretty much true. And it was kind of wild, man. But other thoughts I had about the movie, like it just looked good, like stylish. I guess anything from the 70s just looks smooth, right? When the opening scene where he's sitting there and got that long car, that Cadillac or whatever like that he's getting ready to steal, and just like the hats and the stuff, man, you could just really get anything off back in that day, like the outfits, bell bottoms and the hats with the crazy brims, but it just didn't look crazy like you'd look nuts if you wore that hat today, right? But back then they could just pull it off. That's why I say, man, the 70s would have been dope. I definitely would have wore a beret. I would definitely been calling Phenom Comrade, because he would have definitely had a dashiki on. And yeah, man, it would have been dope as hell. And you could just say Comrade and get pull chicks off that, man. I would have been all for that. So it was fun, man. But the girl Darlene, that was like Fred Hampton's baby's, I guess, wife, or I don't know if they got married officially or like that. But I remember her from a show I watched called The Deuce. I kept trying to get Ryan to watch it, but he never watched it. But she was on The Deuce, and she was really good on there. I think she had like a season or two before she got killed off.
First of all, if you tell me to watch something called The Deuce, I don't know what it is. So no, I'm not watching it.
It's a show about the sex industry in New York City in the 70s, 80s, but it was really good. I'm talking James Franco, Method Man, Black Thought. But it was by the same dude that did The Wire, the same dude that did The Wire and Treme and all those those shows like that. So definitely interesting series. I thought it was good. I always try to get you to watch it, you never watch it, but she was in there. So I was like, oh, okay, I remember her. She was in there. So and it was, but other than that, I mean, dope. Lakeith, I thought he, it was really more his story, and I thought he killed it, man. I thought he was just, I mean, I felt for him in a way. I felt like how he got, kind of caught up in it, so it kind of was weird at the end. I was a little bit sympathizing with him in some sense, but also you saw like the cowardice, like when, the shootout when he's, kind of, faking the funk, telling him he's going to go do this and he didn't do that. And so, yeah, man. So, but then also, the backstabbing amongst the Black Panthers, like that informant dude that, said he killed some, it's an interesting story, man. I guess a lot of it's real because I read about some of these dudes and it was dope, man. What about you, Ryan? Any thoughts we missed so far?
First of all, I'm never going to say that a movie about the Black struggle where we die at the end, I'm never going to say it's a good movie. So that won't be in my vocabulary. I will say it was a well-made movie. In those respects, like you said, all the cinematography was dope, acting was dope as usual, but that's kind of what we expect from all the people involved in this particular film. It was a story that I didn't know exactly a lot about. I knew of them, I knew of the characters, but I didn't know about the informant and too much about that and what he was doing and how deep he was actually in. Like you said, it was easy to be sympathetic to him in the end because I think he was down. Like he was down for the cause at one point. It seemed that way. And he was just in a predicament where, I'm trying not to go to jail for 7 years. So what do I do? And they tell you, all right, we just want you to go to this Black Panther meeting. And he think it's going to be a easy out. Next thing you know, you're getting bankrolled by the FBI, dude. Forever.
But it was also interesting how they made I don't know how real that part is because I couldn't find information on that on the FBI dude. Yeah, but the FBI dude, he was kind of getting the pressure put on him by J. Edgar Hoover, who shouts. He was played by Martin Sheen, Charlie Sheen's dad, Hispanic dude. So
he looked funny as a mug. He definitely had some work done.
Yeah, he had a lot of makeup on and stuff like that. But shouts, I could recognize. I saw his name in the credits and I was like, oh, that's him. Okay, but I mean, you saw the pressure being put on him, and I was like, wow, was that part true? I don't know if that was. Elaboration, but I mean, but it was like, man, I almost feel sympathetic for the FBI dude too, in a way. I mean, am I wrong for that? I don't know.
Nah,
yeah, you're wrong.
All I know is Phenom's face he just made could have been a GIF, and I'd be playing all the time. But
I'm not saying it was right, but
I'm not with that dude. No,
but the dude was basically, his career was online. He's like, basically, you got to come up with something on this dude. You got to put the screws to him. I mean, I'm not saying it was right, but I didn't make the movie. The director definitely made you try to feel that way to some extent, right? Am I wrong? They did do that.
No, they kind of made him like he was riding the fence. He was kind of just out here doing his job. He thought that it was true that the Black Panthers were bad because he was in meetings every week. It looked like saying that the Black Panthers were bad. But then when he found out the Black Panthers weren't all that bad, he still was like, all right, I got to do this because they told me to. That's not cool.
Yeah.
Nah, none of that. But I did, I looked at some interviews from Eyes on the Prize 2 that talked about Bill O'Neill and what he was doing. So a lot of truth to that. I found a couple other YouTube videos that talked about who was in the movie and what was true, what wasn't kind of thing. So a lot of that was. So I didn't see anything where they was like, this didn't happen. This wasn't true. Like, this is what eyewitnesses say happened that were there. So, yeah, man, it was, I don't know. I got a love-hate relationship, really just a hate relationship with Black movies because our movies never have a good ending, man. And the ones that get bankrolled and have these big showings are always us being dogged out and killed at the end. We don't get sequels. Because our people are dead at the end, and I can't deal with it. I didn't want to watch this movie. I only watched it because y'all want to watch it. It's just Black history is depressing.
Did you not watch Disorderlies when you were 8 years old, like me and Phenom did? I mean,
I did.
What are you talking about, homie?
I did, but the black man didn't die at the end of the movie on that one.
That you just said you don't see no movies like that. I'm giving you an example right there.
1987.
But I mean, you gotta look at it. This is a historical movie, so
yeah,
the people are gonna die. There's gonna be no sequel.
There's no World War II movie where like Hitler's back Part 2.
Yeah, but they were heroes.
It probably is.
Yeah, but they were heroes. We don't die heroes.
You know, the thing to me is that, like, this exemplifies, and I think this story needs to be told. Stories like this need to be told because it shows, like, how the government was out to kill these black men, essentially. I mean, when you look at Malcolm X, when you look at Martin Luther King, when you look at Fred Hampton, like, the government had a role in all of those deaths, you know, or the government had a role in trying to persecute all of those men. And so I think it's easy for people, especially today, you know, we look like, oh, slavery was so-and-so years ago and civil rights was so-and-so years ago. And it's like, if you pay attention, you see repeatedly throughout history, you know, the government, like, this was literally a government-sponsored assassination.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so I think for some people, not all, because some people are going to be stuck on what they're going to be stuck on, but some people, I think that's going to be an eye-opening revelation to be like, oh, for real? Like the U.S. government did that? Like, maybe these black people ain't lying.
You think our friends that watch faux news is going to be out here like, oh, I changed my mind. I changed my position. The government did put those Black Panthers in a bad light to kill them all. You think they're going to do that?
That's what I said. Not everybody, but I do think some individuals will watch it and have that reaction and just be like, oh, wow, like I never knew that happened.
It'd be more black people than anybody.
Now, before I say something, Phenom, after the movie, you watched this with the wife for Valentine's. Yeah, did y'all start calling each other comrade? Did you start, like, you know, spouting some Marxist, Leninist, ideology around the house, like in the kitchen? Like, see, my sister, you need to work with the proletariat to uprise ourselves against this.
I can see Phenom with some Fred.
He is.
What's the name?
Don't say Fred Sanford. Fred Hampton. Don't say Fred Sanford. That's racist.
Now we just
almost said the gospel singer.
Right. Yeah. I almost do that too. Fred Hammond and Fred Hampton. But we just, you know, got near the window in the living room. You know, I threw it a chopper. You know, I had another window. We looking outside for the man coming. And actually, I think that night I did have like a weird dream of somebody like trying to come into the house or something like that. And when I see movies like that, it just be like, you know, you go to sleep and you hear that little creak of the floor, and I'm like, wait, are they coming for me? Did Biden send them for me?
The crazy thing is now with all the Ring cameras, like you get the little alert on your phone. It feel weird as hell. Like you wake up like 4 or 5 in the morning and you see like you have like a little alert from like 2 hours before, and you look, you like, it's probably just gonna be the wind or something like that, or a cat running by, and it always is. But you just
have that alert going off in the middle of the night. No.
Oh man, those are I gotta have those. Nothing happens, but
that's a weird thing, and this is off topic, but I always wonder about that. I'm like, because I turn mine off too, but sometimes, like I said, if I wake up and hear something, I'll look outside. I'll look on the camera to see anything going on outside. But I'm like, it seems like nighttime is when you really do want that mug on, because if something's about to pop off, you want that warning.
I want to be like that dude. I want to be like that Jamaican dude in Belly when he saw the dudes coming across the lawn ready to kill him. I want to and freaking out and start grabbing. That's what I want to be. That's how I was envisioning it every time I get the alert. But it's always just like a little cat or like some wind or like a butterfly in the camera at 2 a.m. Like, why is this butterfly here?
Speaking of which, Phenom, did you get a chance to? I know we don't really use this particular thing, but on Messenger today, Facebook, I sent you that video of the dude who was looking on his Ring camera, and a young brother stole a package off his porch. Did you get a chance to look at that?
I didn't, but I probably saw that before. Okay. I saw the messenger come through, but it was like hella busy today.
Yeah, my bad. I usually don't send those unless I don't feel like looking it up and finding it some other kind of way to put it in.
No, it's fine, but I think I know what you're talking about. Did the dude get pieced up after, drug him back to the front?
Man, it was an old man. It's not that one. I know which one you're talking about. It was an old man. He was looking out his Ring camera. Dude picked up his box. He had his homie drop him off to pick up the box too. Walked up, tried to slide off. Dude bust out the door. AK-47. Well, no, he had the M16 at his hip. He was like, hey, put that box right back where you got it from. And and dude was like, all right, old man. He kept calling him old man. I'm like, yo, you being mad disrespectful to a dude with an M16 right now. And then, I mean, dude cocked it and everything. He didn't point it at him. He should have pointed it at him, but I think
first off, it's AR-15. Only military has the M16.
Yeah,
this
is
it looked like a military M16.
This is what you said.
That's AR-15.
What? That is not. Yeah.
Nerd
you can't
stuff.
see it unless you join the group.
Yeah, I'm not part of the Black
my wife
Collector
looked at
Society.
Look, let me get you back on top for a second. So shout out to the movie. Daniel Kaluuya was great. Lakeith Stanfield, like, I need more, feature film roles from him. I mean, the dude plays funny in ATL. I need to see more from him. The dude, Daniel Kaluuya, he was dope in the movie. He's starting to get a little man, you got to lay off the bean pies, my brother, because you were just a little bit, starting to get a little chunky in the movie, man. So just watch it. I remember Ryan, I tried to tell Ryan about Daniel Kaluuya in Sicario. He was in the first Sicario, which was dope. And I was like, man, there's this black dude here. You need to check him out. He's dope in here, even though he's just got a fairly small part. Where I was like, nah, man, that movie's trash. I don't like that. I'm not watching that. I'm not gonna watch that. And now it's blowing up everywhere. So I'm just saying, Ryan, I told you first that the dude was gonna blow up. You didn't believe me. I was right.
I didn't listen to anything you said, so I'll find out.
You never have.
I'll find out when I listen.
Have.
When I listen back at the pod, then I'll know what you said. I did find it, so I'm gonna put this in the chat. His homie just left him.
Ain't no point. Both of us getting shot.
Right. Yeah, he was out.
No point. Both of us getting shot. No.
He just left him.
As soon as dude walked in the house, the dude pulled off. He was like, "Oh no!"
Yeah, he saw that chopper come out. He was like, "Oh no, I got to go."
That dude might have been in Vietnam or Korea. You don't know, man.
So am I right? Is that M16?
M16 is the military. AR-15
is
the
that
same.
an M16?
It's just functionally probably, but it's an AR-15.
This dude will not ever admit that he was wrong.
You can't get AR-15. You can't get an M16 civilian that I'm aware of. It's AR-15. That's what the civilian version is called, the AR-15. It's the same gun essentially. It's just called the AR-15. I know this.
Okay.
M16A2. I used to own one.
This dude
used to.
I used to own one.
I saw another video, and I won't worry about sending it, but I wonder if y'all saw there was a dude, and of course it seemed like a New York cat, where he was bullying an old man, like he had his shirt off and he's just up on the street, with his fist up like, yo, what's up, old man? What's up, old man? And he actually swung on him, and, the old man, he didn't really make any good contact, but the old man just kind of, trying to palm off and get him away. And then all of a sudden, so you see that video, and then all of a sudden, you see the guy who was bullying the old man, dressed up like normal, wearing a collared shirt and a sweater or something like that. And then you see a hand, like in his face, and it's like, yeah, what you doing bullying old men like that? Like, you're not even like that. You're not even like that. And the dude who's holding the camera is like pushing the dude all in the head and was like, you don't never mess with no old man. Next time I see you doing that, I'm a beat your behind. And the dude's just like, I'm sorry, you got it. Like, I don't want no problems. I don't want no problems. And I'm just like, that's how to do it.
Yeah.
The bully. So I had to send that to y'all.
So speaking of bullies, Paul's man Cam Newton got bullied, I guess over this past week by one of those little kids at his football camp.
16-year-old.
Yo, what happened with this story, Paul?
Yo, man, I don't know. I mean, this one went viral yesterday, so I figured we'd throw it in here to, talk about it. But, Cam Newton, everybody knows Cam Newton. Had some good years. I mean, had some great years in college. Had some very good years in the NFL. His career's kind of taking a little bit of a detour the last couple of years. Currently a free agent. Didn't have a very good year for the Patriots last year. But, he's had a camp. I don't know where the camp was at. It could have been here in Charlotte. It could have been down in Georgia where he's from, I'm guessing. A bunch of, 14, 15, 16, 17-year-olds, all dudes trying to get to the next level, right? High school dudes trying to get to the college, Division I college or whatever, and maybe ultimately the NFL. For whatever reason, one dude, I think for clout, decided to just start clowning on Cam at his own camp, which is kind of a wild thing to do.
Wow.
And Cam, I don't know why Cam took the bait, man. Cam's heard a lot of slander in his career, man, between, just the people on sports radio, TV, people joke on his outfits. He's heard a lot of things before, man. It seems to brush him off pretty good. But this one, I don't know, man. He just couldn't let him go. So the dude kept asking like, "You a free agent? You a free agent?" And you ain't playing or something like that. And the dude just eventually Cam started asking, where's your father? I guess asking to talk to his father. And I'm not really sure, was that a sneak diss or not?
Yeah, it was.
But everybody weighed in on this topic, and I'll give my views on it in a little bit. But Phenom, you're a sports junkie like I am, man. And I mean, this was some slander. What'd you think? Was he out of bounds? Was Cam Newton wrong for engaging with the dude? Following up, all these types of things, man. What'd you think?
Well, I mean, in that little clip that we saw, I'm sure that little dude was running his mouth like the whole day, right. Like nonstop. Like he probably said that 703 times, and Cam Newton ignored it. But on that 704th, he finally was like, you know what? I'm about to say something back. And I don't really blame him for that. I mean, even for somebody like Cam Newton, where, this dude has been like a all-star and a, great quarterback. And yeah, he may be having some down years, but still, I mean, that dude is an elite talent. And it's almost like, when we watch basketball and you're like, oh man, Jared Dudley trash. Like, dunk on that dude.
He'll murder us.
If you really got in front of him, like, he'll kill you. And so I think I'm fine with Cam saying, like, look, little dude, like, I know you a little high school all-star, but I'm Cam Newton, so I got no beef with it. What about you, Ryan?
Hey, man, that was mad disrespectful for you to be at this man's camp. I'm sure he does something like this probably every year. Most professional players do, where they give back to the community, where they grew up at, or where they live at now, or maybe probably both. And he gave you the opportunity to come to his camp, man. I don't care what he was showing you. This dude is still in the NFL. If you lived his life, you'd be pretty successful, or considered very successful. So it's very disrespectful of him to do that. I don't know what's going on with our young brothers. Cam, I think it was a sneak diss to say, where your dad, because your dad ain't here.
I mean, that's
your daddy today.
But that was a common thread. In reading through the story, I mean, a lot of people were kind of picking up like, this kind of gets to maybe a larger societal issue. But a lot of people were saying like, oh, this dude, he don't have no dad at home, because there ain't no way that he would talk like this if there was a dad. Which I have kids. I don't know. They ain't really like in that age where they're smart enough like that. But I can't see that. But as raised by a single mom myself, I guess I still don't think I'd be that flagrant. But I mean, that was a big critique I heard about black society and parents, lack of 2-parent households. I mean, did y'all think there was any worth to those statements or opinions? I heard that a lot on the TL.
I think there's some value to it, but I feel like that's overblown. Like, people go to that too much. They say, oh, well, they're from a single parent home and they need a father. It's a lot of kids that have fathers in their house that's still bad as hell. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of folks that are in jail that are doing 20 years for murdering somebody or life for murdering somebody, that they had a father at home. So that's not always the reason. Does that make situations worse when you only have one parent, when you're struggling, when, whether it's a mother or a father, you're missing something. So yes, it makes it worse, but that's not always the reason that kids are popping off, especially something like this where this dude he's just a mouthy little dude. And when you ask why, it's for the gram. Like, that's basically why people do all this crazy stuff. We were going to talk about a couple weeks ago, the dude that got killed wielding a machete as a prank on a YouTube video, and he got shot. Like, he was doing that just for the internet clout. And so I think that's the same with this little dude. And he lucky that Cam didn't get down in the 3-point stance and just go
Bobby
and just put him down. Right.
Yeah, man. It's I don't know what to say about society anymore. I mean, we've all come from the background that we come from. Things were not perfect, but some kind of way Phenom, I've never seen you be disrespectful to grown-ups, in situations. I've never been disrespectful to grown-ups in situations. I don't know how Paul was at a young age, but I'm pretty sure he also...
disrespectful.
No, he wouldn't. He probably wouldn't. He probably mouthed off on the side, but he definitely probably shut up because he sounded like his mama would have snatched him up from school, too. So, I don't know, man. Maybe it's a different way we gotta teach these kids. My grandmother, rest in peace, she told me once, she said, this is a smarter generation, but she said it's a weaker generation. And she said, when I was little, they could turn me up and I just knew it was discipline. She said, they think it's abuse. So she said, you have to parent accordingly. So she always told me that because before I was having kids, I was just like, oh, my kid did that. Like, I'm about to whoop them for that. But I understood where she was coming from, and maybe we gotta take another angle, man. The kids gotta understand where we're coming from, or at least. But at the same time, your kid could just be a knucklehead. They ain't listening. And this dude, he got his chance, and he definitely screwed this up. So hopefully Cam Newton told him to go home. It's like, all right, man, call your ride. So.
Yeah, and I mean, a big part of it, I think, and obviously I'm the only non-parent on the show, but I think a lot of times parents get caught up in what worked for me or the way that things went for me. Like that's the right way. That's how I should raise my kids. And it's not always like that. Like times change, so you gotta adjust, you gotta adapt. So, maybe your grandma made you go outside and pick a switch off the tree. But the laws ain't going to allow it
my
today.
My granddad did it one time, and I'd never do nothing wrong in front of him again. He never whooped me, but that one time, I was like, wow, you serious? Having flashbacks.
All right. And that worked for you at that time, but because you can't do that now, you got to find another way. Like there are other, what do they say, is more than one way to skin a cat. So, which is a weird saying. I don't necessarily like that saying.
Yeah,
but
skinning the cat is pretty ruthless.
Right. But it applies here to where you don't have to raise your children the way that you were raised for them to be successful.
Right.
Ladies, no need to skin the cat. It's all good.
Paul, were you disrespectful as a child? That was one question we were asking. I don't think you were. No, just as either a teen or a preteen.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean,
that's how breezy to an old person and not be worried about your mama.
No, I've always been pretty respectful, but that's
what I thought.
But again, as I've said on this podcast, I've learned that I'm an asshole talking to Ryan. I've learned that. So yeah, there was definitely some of that. But as far as like disrespect to older folks, no, man, that's just. I mean, that just goes back to like. Little kid training or whatever like that, or just being deferential, man. Like, I'm not gonna. Yeah, we got jokes for people and stuff like that, people, celebrities and stuff like that. But when you see a celebrity in person, like, and especially like, come on, man, Cam Newton's like 6'5", 230 on a good day, man. I mean, what is it? What are you? Cam Newton was hot, man. You wouldn't be saying that if you were just one on one with that man. You knew that because you got cameras on and there's a bunch of dudes around that you ain't gonna do nothing but. If you don't have that same energy when it's just one-on-one, then don't do that like that. He was trying to play him for clout on social media. So I don't know if it's like a mix of his parenting, and stuff like that, or just just the social media age we're in. But yeah, people were dunk on that kid so hard, man. I guess he apologized later, so that's good for him. Somebody's got in his ear and said like, hey man, you need to chill on that. I mean, he was getting just. Every NFL player I followed, like they were all commenting and they were just dogging that kid out, which is, that's gotta be tough, man. That's the problem with social media, man. You can become famous in a second. You can become famous in a second, or you can just like black mark yourself. I mean, like that kid. I mean, who knows? Maybe he is good enough to make it to the league, but people are gonna, they'll remember that for the rest of his life if he ever makes it that far. So, gotta be careful with this stuff, man.
Respect is the most important thing. One to another.
Yeah, be respectful. Be respectful to old. Oh man, hey, yeah, period. Public service now. Be respectful because I'm getting old, man. Be respectful to me because I don't got hands like Phenom. I just can't, I'm gonna be that old dude with the chopper on the porch, man, trying to steal my packages. That's gonna be me. Phenom got the hands though. So he can take care of himself.
I might not have no hands, but I got about 8 seconds of old man strength. And you're gonna be hurting. You're gonna be hurting when you go home. That's all I'm saying.
That's what you tell the wife on Valentine's Day too. Nasty. Play the nasty man clip. Play it.
I'm not playing.
Drop it off for me. Come on.
I'm not giving you that one.
Oh man, that was a good one.
I give you the weak.
You know me
I
hate.
would give you the weak Nas nasty. That's all you get.
Ryan be busting the Muay Thai.
Anyway, yeah, Phenom there.
The Hadouken. The Hadouken. Oh, I'm gonna take a nap.
Yo, I already told y'all I'm not as good as I used to be, but I'm mad efficient right now. I give you 20. 20 and 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. So
your PER is high. Is way up there.
High. Valuable.
PER, got you.
Valuable.
Advanced stats.
Yeah.
When I was talking about the Muay Thai, I was talking about somebody running on your porch. I wasn't talking about what Paul was talking about.
Okay, I was like, you've been drinking.
Because you said you gonna wrestle them.
Hey, the wife tried me sometime every once in a while. I don't know why she want me to flex. She just like that. Like, yo, hold up. I'm still stronger than you. Anyway. All right, let's skip this one topic. We're going to go straight to Phenom's topic. Why don't we
go to yours? Because that one seemed like that's longer.
Yours?
We come back to that next week.
Really?
We can come back to mine.
Yeah, we're an hour and 8 in, so one more, let's kill it.
Well, keep in mind, we talked for like 10 minutes that I'm going to take out.
Well, if you want to keep it in, we can.
All right, Texas storms. I guess that's something we need to talk about. I guess let me play my, because I've been forgetting. Here we go. Next story. Keep going. All right, y'all got to remind me. Don't let me forget those. Got to put them in. Storms in Texas. Texas been crazy. The entire Western Hemisphere kind of went freezing and snowy and blizzard-like conditions, except for Paul's house. I don't know how this be happening. Everywhere is terrible except for Charlotte, and he'll be like, "What are y'all talking about? It's fine out here on my porch." But everywhere else,
it was great this weekend. Weather was amazing this weekend.
Everywhere else, it's like -5. So we was at like 2 degrees, -1 degrees. It was crazy here in St. Louis. But Texas got hit. Well, I don't think they got hit the hardest. They just were least prepared to be hit at all.
Right.
Yeah.
They didn't know that the fight was coming, and they got stole on, and they went down for the count. So I wanted to talk about this. Texas storms. I got people in Texas. Luckily, everything was cool for them. They had rolling blackouts like everybody else. My sister said it was like 40 minutes on, 40 minutes off type of deal, or they would turn it off during the night and then turn it back on in the morning, which, why would you turn it off at night? Turn it off during the day. I guess they probably was thinking, well, we got to...
It's rolling, so some people getting day, some people getting night.
She said every night they was like, it was at the same time, so I don't know. But I guess it could be rolling. Who knows? But the real problem here was that this company called Gritty, they've been, I guess they've taken advantage of good old Texas and their laws, and they do everything they can to not have to pay federal regulations, and they have skipped out on such things where normally they said the states are all connected so they can borrow power as they need to so that things like this won't happen. But not Texas. Texas has decided, nope, we're the Lone Star State. We're going to get our power from ourselves. But what happens if you don't have power yourself, Phenom? You end up in the dark. So I want to talk about this. They got some crazy laws out here, man, that the company is charging ridiculous amounts for bills. I mean, like thousands of dollars because, it's peak time right here. It says somebody had a bill that increased $2,500. That's crazy.
Yo, people got $15,000 bills out there.
Yo, that is insane. So y'all got a chance to peep this story or at least hear what I just said about that. What is going on in Texas? What's the problem? Is it the people's fault? Is it the politicians' fault? Is it anybody's fault?
Yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, Texas is trying to go sort of solo at it. What they did is they basically deregulated energy in Texas, and so they wanted to bring a bunch of different companies to have competition. Mm-hmm. So in Texas, it's almost like for your electricity, it's like a cell phone here. You go to T-Mobile, you can go to AT&T, you can go to Verizon, you can go to Cricket. They got all different vendors that you could get electricity from, which may seem like a good thing because more competition, you get better prices, right? the thing is, because they don't have any real regulations by the state there, those companies don't really have fail safes in play. And so, and a lot of them, like I think this Gritty, they kind of do it like Uber, where Uber, if it's slow, it costs less. If it's busy, like the price goes up. There's a price surge because more, there's more demand. And so that's how they do for energy. So it's literally people who've had their electricity off for like 20 hours a day. They only got it on for 4 hours a day. And they bills, like you said, $2,500 or $3,000. And some of those people are saying like, look, I can't afford this bill, but I don't want to die.
Right.
So I'm not going to cut the electricity off. So
Box Wine, did you hear that they actually told them beforehand, hey, the weather's getting cold, prices are going up, y'all should switch. You should switch from us and get electricity from somewhere else. Meanwhile, the other companies was like, nah, we're not taking no new subscribers.
I hadn't heard that, man, but that's, it's just crazy, man. If those are really accurate, 2,500, I can't see how that's even allowable, man. Like, what are you trying to do, man? In a pandemic, you people didn't have their power. A lot of people didn't, lost power for some time. So you base on paying for a basic service that you expect to be on 24 hours a day. I get it. Every now and then there might be an inconvenience for a few hours, but in a major storm like this,
like when it's 0 degrees,
charging people, even one person, $2,500, like. And what you think they can afford that, man? That's crazy. I can't afford no $2,500 light bill. If you try to hit me with a $2,500 light bill, who can do that, man? Like that's crazy. And what you gonna do? Make me pay it over next year because I only had power for half the month? That's insane, man. So they got to figure something out. Unfortunately, it all falls back to the politicians. And you've got all this finger pointing going on from what you hear. The Republican governors, which is they're trying to blame green energy deal, which there isn't none, right? It's all, it's just ridiculous type of stuff, man. Just finger pointing and stuff like that. But that's how all these kind of debacles go, man. So we'll see how it turns out, man. I feel bad for them, but it's kind of amazing. In Texas, you got all this, of course, this legendary energy infrastructure, all this, oil, gas production, all this stuff like that. And then, along comes a storm and really exposes like, hey, you guys are just kind of getting by like on a, you're just kind of getting by, man, until that hamster falls off that wheel, everything's smooth. But if it falls off, you in trouble. And that's what happened. They said their system is optimized for, the AC for summer when everybody's blowing the AC because it gets so hot down there. They don't prepare at all for a winter thing that blankets the whole state. And so that's really what killed them, except for El Paso. El Paso's like on a different system because they're like right on the corner.
They're in the western grid.
Right. They're like basically in New Mexico and Mexico. Just a whole different city. It's way out there by itself. And so they were like, so El Paso was straight the whole time, but the rest of the state, problems. So, man, it's just, they gotta figure some things out, man. But hey, if there's anybody out there getting $25 bills, they gotta fix that, man. They gotta fix that. They gotta fix it. They gotta fix it. That's not fair.
That's not the highest. No, and the problem is that these companies don't have the capacity to provide electricity to all those people. And so, like you mentioned, that they just didn't prepare for it. Now they should have. If you have federal or state regulations, like there's certain redundancies that you have to have in place. But Texas is like, nope, we're not doing that. The companies, the corporations, they're trying to make profit over everything. So why would I spend money on a backup, when that's eating into my profit? But the fact of the matter is, like Ryan, when you said the company, I guess, was it Gritty? They told people to change. Well, the problem is other electricity companies couldn't accept anybody. Like they were over capacity already, so they weren't accepting new customers. So it's like you build the system because it's inadequate because you just like, snow's never coming here. We don't really need that. And then when everybody turns on the heat, all of a sudden, like the grid just can't handle it, and you're not attached to neighboring states. Like that's what other states do. When there's a big draw on the electricity, you'd be like, yo, Kansas, yo, hook me up. Like, send me some wattage. Let me get some of them watts. Illinois, let me get some of them watts. Texas can't do that. So
now I saw the CEO, chairman, I believe, of ERCOT. I don't know if they call it ERCOT, what they call it down there, but he was saying that the split-second decision that they had to make in order to do the rolling blackouts really saved the power grid, because it would have went totally down for months had they not done the rolling blackouts. So that in and of itself is scary, man. Can you imagine the state of Texas, of all places, America, in its finest, without any power for months? Like, it would have been anarchy down there. My sister did text me at one point. She was just like, all right, I'm sick of this. Like, this is crazy. And I'm just like, I don't know what to say, man. Like, call your senator, governor. I don't know, because they got to do something.
Bro, it was like 75 in Dallas this weekend, I saw. So, like, I've been in Dallas, like, in February, and it's been, like, 90-something degrees before, man. It's hot, man. So, can you imagine, if they were without power for, like, 3 months, can you imagine how musty the whole state would smell? I mean, it would smell like it would smell like my armpit, like, after the most strenuous rowing workout on Phenom's new rowing machine ever. Like, it would be like that times a million. So, like, that is a funky state if they lose power for 3 months when it's about to be 105 out there, man. Like, I'm definitely not visiting anytime soon.
Have y'all ever thought about, and I don't know why I've thought about how to make a world a better place. And I don't understand why some utilities are not controlled by government or not-for-profit kind of things. Like, some things should just be not-for-profit to me. I don't think you should be making money off the water, because the water is there for everybody. It's water. I know power is made to a certain extent, but they have to run turbines and all that kind of stuff to make it. But certain things, man, it's not a luxury anymore. Like, it's 2020. We're not the old settlers where you're just like, you know what? I can bring y'all some water in here if you want to pay thousands of dollars for it. And they're like, yeah, sure. Like, we got to change up the way we do business.
But
in fairness, I don't necessarily agree with that, the ideology behind it, but I agree with you. Basically, utilities, it should be like standard and, not-for-profit, things like that. But, you got to, that's the one good thing about America. At least we can try these different things, and you have these test cases, and maybe they seem like they work, but then you have a situation like, this is literally how you're going to get regulation. So, like, Texas has been priding itself on, like, no regulation. It's just an open marketplace. Anybody wants to start an energy company can, and we see how it works. And now you see this failing, and this is how you get regulation, because, like, people ain't gonna stand for this. Maybe it only happens once every 10 years, but they're not gonna go for this. This ain't gonna happen again, and so they got to figure some way to fix it. And they're gonna be like laws. There's gonna be something. You get this kind of like pendulum. Things swing. Like, okay, maybe it's too regulated, then they say no, we don't, and then something goes wrong, and then it goes back the other way. And somewhere the truth is somewhere in the middle, and so at least we have the options in this country to get there. Although I generally agree with maybe one side of the coin or the other, but it's a positive. You got to look at it positive. But yeah, I feel bad for the people that's suffering right now, but hopefully they get it fixed, and in the long term they address their situation. But yeah, man, all I think about is those bills, man. I couldn't imagine $2,500 bill, man. I would have a heart attack. I would literally have a heart attack if I opened my bill and saw $2,500. I would be like, I'd be like, no, you gotta fix this. And I didn't have no power. I'm out here freezing. I'm sitting here sitting on a cold toilet in the middle of the night. No, bro, you can't.
Your toilet seat warmer ain't working.
Then to make it worse, you probably get the your $600 stimulus check the same day. Right. It don't even cover your electric bill.
Wow. Yeah, that would have been crazy. All right. Well, hopefully everybody can get through it. So let's go on to the next topic.
Keep going! Keep going!
All right. We got Paul. It's our last topic. We're going to skip this next one. We're going to talk about Phenom's topic next week. So, Paul, I'm going to let you read this. I want you to read it. Well, never mind. Don't read it then. Fine.
I don't have it up right now. Hold on.
Fine. I got it. So,
okay, give it to me.
I was perusing the interwebs, and I came across this story. Thought it was pretty funny.
I thought you were about to say Black Planet. Okay, sorry.
Y'all know, you heard of Frosted Flakes. They're great, and you got the tagline and all that. In this case, these Frosted Flakes was worth more than $3 million because of the type of frosting that they had on them. They said that boxes of frosted cornflakes were seized in Ohio this month, and they said they weren't breakfast friendly. They sent in a drug detecting dog from U.S. Customs, and guess what? Covered in cocaine. So frosted flakes covered in cocaine. They said that they noticed that the boxes were just, it had a gray powder on it rather than a white powder. And so they brought in the dogs to check it out, almost, $2.8 million worth on there, man. And basically, they said this has happened before in other states, apparently. Lucky Charms has been a victim. So there's definitely some Lucky Charms if you got a hold of them. But, hey, man, we don't want this to get mixed up in the regular food supply, because I heard that happen a couple times where the drugs were sent to the grocery store. So in this case, I don't want my kids eating no cocaine cereal, man, because I had them pour a bowl of cereal every day. They be acting crazy, so I don't know. Maybe some of that got through.
Man, this has been my greatest gift in the world if I had got some cocaine cornflakes when I was like 6 years old, man. I would have thought I was a transformer or whatever it was.
That's
back then,
all
man.
Fruity Pebbles
Definitely
is.
would have been
cocaine.
hooked on
They got cocaine and Fruity Pebbles, bro.
Probably. I just thought this story was interesting. I know it's not really what we generally talk about, but that's crazy. Drug dealers will do anything to get that work across the border. And so, what will they think of next?
You know how when I was talking earlier about parenting, about you can't always do the same thing that worked for you. Like, that's how drug dealers live. It's like, all right, well, Pops got it over the border by hiding it in the back of a truck. Well, that ain't gonna work in 2021. you're gonna get busted real quick. So now we gotta we gotta sprinkle it on some cereal. Right. You probably got, let's see, box wine. What are some other types of ways that drug dealers hide drugs? Not that you would know, but what would you think?
I would not know it. I would not know anything about this. How dare you, sir? Where would they hide it? I mean, literally anything inside the car. The wheel well. Inside even more sophisticated than that, man. I mean. Whatever you can think of, they're gonna find a way, man, to get it through there, man. I guess this package right here was shipped from it was Ohio to Hong Kong, which is kind of wild. Like, you would think right. Hong Kong and get it somewhere more direct, but who knows, man? That's a little weird. These are some generic ass cornflakes, so I will say that.
Ohio was probably the middle stop. They probably went from Mexico or down south to come into Ohio and then go to Hong Kong that way.
Maybe, but I think that's really why they got busted, because like these aren't frosted flakes. These are just
random flakes.
That's what Poppy said, just some generic corn flakes. And I know the cops was like, dude, don't nobody eat this. Ain't nobody eating this crap. If they would have had Tony the Tiger on there, they would have been good. That cocaine would be in Hong Kong right now. Yeah,
but I'm sure that means that particular fake cornflake company is down there, wherever it came from. Because if you don't have a Kellogg's plant down there, you can't be sending Kellogg's from down there. Like, the officials ain't that stupid. So it's got to be something. I don't know, man. Maybe they could put it in some drywall or something. Maybe you could do that. Make drywall of just made out of straight cocaine.
I'm sure they got like chalk. You got chalk. You just make chalk out of cocaine.
Be a lot of chalk.
Look, as I've said on this podcast before, if I was in the 70s, I definitely would have tried cocaine. I'm pretty sure. Phenon would have been on with a dashiki and a bean pie telling me, hey, brother, don't do that. Hey, comrade. But I would have been like, I'm going to try this cocaine over here. And Ryan would have just been over there, just like you're doing right now, shaking his head.
Same dude. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, shaking his head with a crazy-looking hat on from the 70s. And a leather vest in St. Louis looking nuts.
Not a leather vest. Now he would have had on the leather headband.
Looking like one of the Isley brothers.
Right,
yeah,
with the 70s.
Right. With a knife in his boot.
All right. So I think that's about it for this week.
Thank goodness.
Phenom, if the people would like to email us their suggestion of how to get cocaine across the border, how can they contact us?
Yo, you could hit up El Chapo, a.k.a. Box Wine Poppy. He is on Twitter at Boxed Wine Poppy. He will get your box across the border. If you want to reach out to me directly, I am at Ghetto Phenom on Twitter and Instagram. The Black Ryan is at The Black Ryan on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to reach out to the show, the collective, you can hit us up on Facebook, or you can email us at theblackdelegatespod@gmail.com. We are also on Twitter and Instagram at Black Delegates. There's an underscore between Black and Delegates. Box Wine Poppy, congratulations. You made it to the end of the show. Had a couple interruptions, but we're glad you're still here with us. If people want to be with us, if they want to get more people to come with us, what can they do?
First of all, man, give us some responses. Tell us, how trash Ryan's intros are, his little sound effects. Tell him you want to hear Box One Poppy's, editing of this podcast instead. Do that.
Dude, I would like nothing better.
We need to do that.
Do it through Apple Podcasts. Put your reviews in there. Rate us and review us. But whatever you listen to this on, yeah, man, just subscribe and then tell a friend. And it's actually funny. I was just looking through the little Google little apps, and they got I never noticed Google has a podcast feature, and every time I see it, I see a different little podcast thing. I always just put our name in, search for it, and hey, man, we're there. So, man, if you use Google Podcasts, if that's your thing, sign up, subscribe right from Google, man. We're right there with you. So, yeah, man, that's it. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, Google ain't bad. I used it for a little bit. It doesn't have, at least at the time, it didn't have the full features I needed, but it's cool. I still subscribe to a couple podcasts on there, but it's not my daily driver. Brian, any last wise words?
Yes, respect each other, love each other. We got to do better, man. So I want y'all to do yourself a favor, hug your children, tell them you love them, and why you
beat your children.
Tell them why you're punishing them. This is the most important thing. Talk to your kids about what they're doing, why they're in trouble. Just tell them why you're spanking them. That makes sense. And if you can't, in your head, explain why you're spanking them, you probably shouldn't be doing it. It's just a good practice. See y'all next week.
Peace.
That's right.